Hi, this is Create with Mrs. H. We colorize Jack Webb from Dragnet, and I colorized this, and I did not have my sound on. So I'm going to show you what I did, and we're going to do a voiceover. So look at this. This is the Jack Webb. I found this picture on Wikipedia. It's public domain, so that means you can play with it and have a little bit of fun. And I colorized it through AI at first. So I just Google, colorize a picture. There's Google Colab, lots of stuff you can colorize with. But you can see it didn't do the best job. There's also a lot of apps and things like that do it. So we go to pickmonkey.com. They have free trials, and I love this online editor. So instead of paint, I use eyeshadow. But just think of it as paint, okay? Because it's just another word for it. This is a lot more user-friendly than Photoshop if you're a beginner. So I take my dropper and I touch a part of the face where I want it to copy. Basically, I'm like, hey, I want to dip my brush into this color. And then I go ahead and I make my size the way I like it, as you see on the screen. And I'm really just taking my mouse and moving it around. I hope you all are having a great day. It is fun to just relax and get away from it all for a little while. And look at that ear. That ear is gray, and you have to make sure you get all the little corners, because if you miss something, then it'll obviously stand out, especially if you're telling people, I colorized this, and you're like, but he's got a great ear. So the AI does great, but the AI seemed to think that his fingers were part of the jacket or part of the newspaper. So it colorized it in, leaving it in black and white. So we go ahead and take that eyeshadow or that paint and just go up and down the fingers. And you see, it's very forgiving. You don't have to get every corner correct. You can be a little outside the lines and stuff like that, and just generally it's just very forgiving because it just gives you that overall feel that something has color. So just little dabs all around with the eyeshadow, getting the nails here, and it's a lot of fun. So then when you choose to leave it like that, you click apply. So now we're going to, I think, do the eyes. And for teeth whiten, you can use the teeth. Basically, it's like whiteout. When you were younger and use whiteout. And you just drop it where you want the eyes not to look dingy colored, like sometimes that does. And you just add that, and it gives it immediately a pop. And so even if we stop right now, you would have a generally colorized picture, and we're only a couple minutes in, 3 minutes in, but the more touches you can do without going overboard, the better, just to make it look more realistic. So let's see, now I'm just doing the eye tint, and I'm assuming his eyes are brown. Sometimes it's hard to know historically accurately what color the actor's eyes were, so you have to really look around. You can look up other pictures. The AI does guess pretty well at what the color is, but you can also have some poetic license if you would like, because this is just your artistic rendering. So I'm taking the teeth whitening here, and I'm just whitening the colors. When you've had something through the wash too many times, and it gets kind of dingy, so we're just taking that and whitening it. Now the jacket, as you see, it has some mix of color. Okay, it's not uniform. We don't want that. So I'm taking the eyeshadow, which is my word for paint, basically, trying to find a spot on it that I like, that I really want to dip my brush into it. I picked kind of a yellowish tone. And I'm going to make my brush size a little bigger, and then I'm just going to go all around kind of like crazy to make it more uniform. So if you did this picture, you might come up with something different. You might choose to say, oh, I'm going to make it more brown. I want this to be more gray. You really can have a lot of fun with it and make it the way that you like or you envision it. Sometimes it's nice to make it look more modern. As you see in my picture on the bottom, I took out all my color saturation, but left the color of my headband and my dress. And that's just that's another way of doing it. You can just have some artistic fun with it. All right, so let's see. Let's see what color I was doing next here. I added some blush. Now, I know it looks terrible. You're doing any sort of thing that's called makeup on Jack Webb. You know, just because this is like Mr. Tough Guy here, not historically accurate, but listen, I am just doing it because I want them to look alive. I want to add some color. Like in real life, you've got some color in your face, you know, you've got the blood going through your veins. So I added that. Okay, what am I doing now? There's one point that gets really silly and I started cracking up my original one. I could not get the color of the lips. I wanted the lips to look vibrant and alive. So I really wanted him to have that look. And so then you're going to see in a moment what I do. Like, so, because here it looked kind of still brown, orangey, blah. So I turn up the red in the moment. I don't even know if I can handle it. I'm not going to giggle again that I did this. And I did a very horrible job at the makeup. You're going to see. And this is why when I put on my makeup myself, I look funny myself. I have this one lipstick that I use here at home, and it's all run down, so it's so hard to get it like to look right. I need to buy some new lipstick. Okay, so here I am trying to just add a little color to his lips, and I do it so funny. But you see how forgiving it is. You just fade it down and nobody knows about your silliness in your final draft. Except now you guys know my secrets here. So I hope you're impressed. I'm revealing my secrets. I started doing graphic design years ago. I was working with a magazine and they needed somebody to, when somebody sent in their advertisement, sometimes they would send it in the wrong size. And I had to fix their sizes. So I would go on programs like this and I started playing around. And then people wanted to have advertisements and they wanted someone to make it. And I was like, okay, I'll try. So I would learn how to do the advertisements. And that's how I got into graphic design. And it was a lot of fun. So I'm adding different effects. This was the Orton. Orton I call the spotlight. Not really a spotlight, but that's how I call it. It's like the best lighting when you're a movie star. So I love adding different effects because it's a very fast way. It's like a filter, you know, to impact it. And Tuscan has like a sort of orangey look to me, tan orangey, and I do like that. I think we're going to revisit that in a little bit. And so I got into that. I got into colorization, and one night I had a dream about colorization, and here you see I'm boosting this and making it all the colors in it stronger. And so when I woke up, I wanted to see if I could colorize old films and old TV shows from the black and white days that were in the public domain that you were allowed to use. And so we started doing that, and we found a way using the new technology with AI to colorize movies and films and things like that. And that became a passion project for us for like over a year. And then we had been doing the radio shows. And when I was doing the radio shows, we saw that started to get a good amount of interest. And people started chatting and wanting to know more. And we started throwing ourselves more into the radio shows. But I'm going back to the colorization because I think it would be a great thing for our channel. So this is my spray tan on his hand. I felt like it was a little bit pale. So I just do that. That's like a quick way to highlight that. And so I started to do the colorations on the pictures again because I thought I would marry together those projects that I find interesting and living the dream, so to speak. I didn't like it on the left hand so strong, so I liked it on the right hand, but I didn't think on the left hand that it looked nice on the knuckles, so I took off the spray tan on the left hand. And then for any spots that I felt like were a little bit pale, I just added some color. And you see the ear, I do not want a gray ear. So just little touches. Again, if I didn't do it, it wouldn't be a big deal, but this just adds a more realistic view, I think. And trying to make it as uniform as possible here. And when you scroll down, you always just, when you're ready, you hit apply, and that's what makes it stick. Most of the time I'm using the sizer, the fader, and apply. Highlights is how you do the hair. I don't know that you really see it, but I'm going to be trying to put the brown onto his hair. You really see it more when you're doing like a blonde or something like that, but I think I gotta try, I gotta make it look as realistic as possible here. So I just did a quick touch up there. So a good root job here as we do our hair. Not that any of us have any gray or anything like that. Okay. I've never gone backwards like this, so it's kind of fun to see how I did things step by step from this side, from the viewer side here. So I'm trying just the different effects. And you also, there's ways to add, you can even make it look like it's painted. So much fun. And then you can have canvases. I've done that. Really enjoy it. Let's see. I wanted to show you how it looked before in the black and white, so you get a feel for that, and then the after. So I think this was pretty much the end. And I just want to thank you all for joining me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.